Ready.
Set.
Gamecast.
Welcome to Ready Set Gamecast, a bi-weekly podcast about video games and job fairs. I'm Bryce, and I'm joined by your future boss, Darrian.
That's me. I'm your future boss.
Darrian, how can future employees impress you?
Showing that you are, timely. Don't be tardy. I don't like people who don't show up on time. Try to be positive. A little bit of self-deprecation is funny, but don't go too far with it. I definitely don't like people who are constantly down on themselves because it brings the whole morale down. And also people who are not drunk all the time would be preferable because, you shouldn't drink all the time.
Okay, that's
how you impress me. Don't be
just
drunk all
don't
the
be
time.
drunk at the interview. You're good. Well, until you get that fine job, you're probably going to be playing video games like Darrian has been doing. What were they? And how were they? And when were they?
Oh, okay. Well, I only played video games the week of the last podcast because the following week, so this last week I was sick. So I didn't play many games, but I played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and I played League of Legends, mostly that. I've been playing a lot of that lately. Again.
Remember when you quit forever?
No.
Okay.
And I also have been playing, I played like 10 minutes of Smash Ultimate actually, and I rage quit almost right away.
What have you been playing in Smash? Just like normal battle and
No,
World
I did
of Light?
like the World of Light, yeah.
Would you like a spoiler for that I've recently discovered?
Sure.
This is your spoiler warning. Skip ahead 1 minute. Apparently, and I thought after you defeat Gallium, the game was over. You had did that, but no. Apparently, there's a Dark Master guy. When you defeat Gallium, he comes in and he like takes over. So then there's more after you defeat Gallium.
I don't know what that means.
The big boss thing that took everybody. That's Gallium.
See, as Kirby, I don't think I knew who I was fighting against to redeem my souls, my friends.
Okay.
I don't know if they covered that.
In the opening cinematic?
Did they call him that?
I'm pretty sure they
Did they name him?
I think they show that in text. I don't think they're like, this is Gallium. Look at him.
Oh.
But I'm pretty sure it says that in text on the screen. But
yeah, I missed that part.
Okay, well, he's Gallium, and there's more to the game. Which, like, Gallium was hard. I mean, I'm not that very good at it, and I defeated him with my Wii Swords Fighter, which I actually switched out some moves on my custom fighter, and I like him even more. I'm the greatest Mii Sword Fighter person ever. There's a tournament coming up, and I know I'm gonna lose it, but I might compete. I might try. Just so I can slip Race a Gamecast stickers in people's pockets as they play. Because that's how you get listeners. Everyone who's listening, check your pockets.
Is there a quarter in there?
No, it should be a Race a Gamecast sticker. Maybe there's a quarter too. If there is a quarter and a Race a Gamecast sticker, send me the quarter for the sticker.
I need the quarter to pay for parking because I didn't feed the meter and I don't want to get a ticket.
Sure. I like a dope sticker. Okay, so you've been playing those games. I've only been playing one game. I've also been playing the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, but I'm not going to mention that because nothing notable has happened. I just kind of poke at it every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, I'll probably quit in about 2 weeks, maybe even less than that. But I've been playing the heck out of Red Dead Redemption 2. The way it seems like, I think I'm in the final act. Because everybody's like talking about things ending and there's like talks of leaving. And it seems like things are closing, but I'm not sure how much of the main story missions there are. What's weird is that like when I go to the like progress thing and for the story it says like 54%. And I'm like, that's weird. It very much seems like the story is about to end, but I'm kind of wondering if that means like 54% of like all of the possible things that you could do, like all of the like, hey, hunt this wild bear and stuff. Like maybe that, if you do every single activity, then it'll be 100. It would be very, very weird if I'm at the halfway point of the story right now. But yeah, as the game it has a slow build, but as the story goes on, things get more and more interesting and more characters get introduced, which kind of makes you care more. And some stuff happened in the end of the last act that really was like, whoa. They made me go, whoa. It's stuff that I very much was not expecting to happen, at least at that point. I'm enjoying my time with it. I'm excited to kind of finish it, but at the same time, I, want to play more. I'm doing a lot of side quests to kind of prolong it, but I popped my head into the online mode because I was like, oh, it might be fun to, mess around in there, do some more of my horseback riding and my shooting and stuff, with this like online character. And they have a story to it. There's like characters, and you have a thing where apparently you were accused of a murder that you didn't do. But it's so freaking annoying when they don't give your character a voice. It's like, let me select a voice. I don't care if there's only like 3 options for voices. I will take a voice over just that everybody talking at you and you just staring blankly at them. I had to recreate my character because I made my first character's eyes too big and it looked like he had no idea what was going on all the time. He just like, hey, you gotta murder these people. And I was like, I can't do this. I'm gonna lose my progress, but I have to get rid of him. And then I remade him, and he's a little bit more. I made his like brow just like look. He looks like he's very intense all the time. He's just like, I guess, kind of like myself, that my eyes are a little bit always squinty. So, but that's better than like all the time where his eyes are just too big. But yeah,
I like the idea of every action just him looking shocked. Like, that sounds great to me.
But online very much seems like Rockstar's just feels like a cash grab. Like there's very few people playing. The people that are playing seem to just be murdery, where there was people I would just try riding around and there'd be people that would just shoot at me and kill me, and I'd be like, cool. And I did a few missions, but like they have a battle royale, which I think is supposed to support 60 people. There was like 5.
Oh, yikes.
But I did win. I beat those 5. Well, no, I think at that time there was 3. It got lower as I went through a couple matches, but I got down. There was 3 of us, and I won. I killed the 2 of them. So I'm Battle Royale Master. But the prices in the online mode for guns and all the stuff is way higher than the single player, and you get less money for the stuff that you do. Like, Arthur will do a mission in the story and get like $50. And on the online, they'll be like, here's $2. And I'm like, what? I just saved everyone. I did all of these things, and you're like, $2. I can't, and with the increased costs that like I can't buy anything. Plus, you have to reach a certain rank to be able to unlock things, and it's really frustrating. And
How much do things cost?
like $250 for a gun. And as a reminder, a mission will get you like $5. And yeah.
Oh my.
Maybe there's missions that'll pay better, but yeah, I think it's...
Is this like a Ralph Breaks the Internet scenario where Spamley's just giving you bullshit and you need to really just probe him for the good? The good? Give me that $40,000 mission, Spamley.
Yeah, that's a thing in there.
I owe $27,000 to eBay. I need real money.
Yeah, you have to find Spamley. He's hidden in Red Dead Redemption. If you track him down, then you can find...
You know what? Red Dead does sound like a game I would like to play.
But the story mode's very, very good, and if nothing piques my interest in terms of new games, I might... Well, I need to figure out a way to do it, but I might play Red Dead Redemption 1 after I beat Red Dead Redemption 2, because Red Dead Redemption 1 takes place after 2, with one of the characters from 2. Not the one that you play as, one of the gang members. So it'd be cool to kind of like continue that story. I've played through Red Dead Redemption 1 before, but it'll be cool to like revisit it after playing through the story. Because I like... Technically, Red Dead Redemption 1 is the continuation of Red Dead Revolver, which is either a PS1 or PS2 game. I looked it up, and it looks so janky. It looks like PS1 Tomb Raider graphics.
Oof.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the same character and stuff. But I think Red Dead Revolver is just considered like non-canon at this point. They're like, let's just forget about that one. That one doesn't count. But yeah, it's a cool story. I love the world. My background is Red Dead Redemption 2 again. I love taking pictures, and it's the world is so beautiful. It won an award at GDC, I believe, for technical excellence, and like playing it and looking at the clouds and the weather and the mist, and it was like, yeah, just for the weather, they deserve it. That's what I have to say about Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm gonna slowly wear Darrian down until she at least tries it, until she opens up her GameFly and orders one game. She activates her GameFly and maybe inserts the Red Dead Redemption game into her PS4.
I'm not going to start my GameFly for Red Dead Redemption.
What are you gonna start your GameFly for?
I'm not sure yet, but not Red Dead Redemption.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping you use your GameFly as an excuse to try games that you normally wouldn't. Because like if you were already gonna play it, you're probably just gonna buy it or whatever. You don't need to try it. But GameFly is like, hey, I'm not sure about this. It might be interesting. Then you can rent it, you can try it, and then, if you don't like it, return it. Why are you saluting right now?
I was reading chat.
Okay. Well, can you read the news?
Like all of it?
Yeah, tell me everything that's happened in the last 2 weeks.
Say all of the news for everything all the time. Yeah, I suppose I could read some news. Starting with Valve after many years, is finally going to redesign the Steam game library, the Steam Lame library. And they're going to add Steam events. They're going to make it look prettier and clearer, which Steam friends are using, which Steam games a user's friends are playing. And different things like updates. They're just going to make everything more accessible. And the events page looks like it's going to be like different stuff for that are happening like in your games. There's actually not that much information about Steam events.
That was the only thing that I was like, what? Because they changed the UI. That's, I guess, not a big deal.
It's big for Steam.
Thing changed the UI. It doesn't really change Steam. It just made it prettier, which it's nice.
Yeah, they made it prettier. It's been like 10 years.
Okay. From what I could gather from the article, Steam events basically seems to be like events related to whatever game, kind of a way to showcase like an Overwatch. Obviously they don't have Overwatch, but I guess like a PubG event. They'd showcase that in that Steam events page, which the way the way things are going, where there is more like big competitions and stuff, they probably were like, well, how can we let Steam users know about this? And they're kind of been like, well, we could put it on the thing, but there's nowhere to put it, so we're just gonna update the entire UI so that we could do this. And now this is where we are. What do you think of it?
I'm really excited because it looks really good, and even though Steam's making some real mistakes in other aspects, their UI being more user-friendly is exciting. So,
you know what else is exciting? Master Chief
I disagree.
Collection coming to Steam. What is exciting about this, Darrian asks?
Nothing.
No, okay. The reason this is exciting is because it's a Microsoft published game. That this is a Microsoft
an Xbox exclusive title coming to the PC.
Well, no, see, it's not special that it's coming to PC because Microsoft has been putting Xbox games on the PC for a bit under the Windows Store. Like a lot of games that you have, if you have a game on Xbox, you probably have it on PC as well. If you log in with the same, credentials into the Windows Store. I've actually done that where I've got the digital version of Gears of War, but I didn't have an Xbox, so I just played it on PC. But then now I have an Xbox, and now I can play it on my Xbox because they have the Play Anywhere program. But now I guess they are opening it up to now being on Steam. Well, opening it up to not just be on the Windows Store. So that's big, I think. Like, I guess, well, depending on how this goes, we might see Gears come to Steam and them not try and just push the Microsoft Store, which the Microsoft Store on PC kind of sucks. So I definitely get it. But on that same note, like, you're obviously not going to have the Play Anywhere capabilities on Steam. You're not going to be able to go, well, I have it on Xbox, can I have it on Steam? Because that's not how Steam works. But it is cool for, people who are primarily Steam gamers. It's cool that it's going over there, and be excited where this partnership goes. But that is one, I guess, exclusive going to a new place. Do you know of any other dexterity?
Okay, so there are a few more exclusives that were exclusive to the PlayStation that are going to be coming to the PC via the Epic Games Store. They're all from Quantic Dream. And they are Detroit Become Human, which, yes, I might get the Epic Game Store so I can play that on my PlayStation or on my PC, because my PlayStation had a lot of frame drops in that game. Also Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain, but they're gonna be coming to the Windows PC with the help of Epic Games. I was gonna abandon the rise of my voice and I just committed instead. Was it obnoxious?
It was magical.
Oh, you're so kind.
That's
okay.
Weird.
So yeah, the company partnered with Epic to put them on the PC. And so, yeah, a couple, a handful, almost a handful of exclusives for the PlayStation are going to come to the computer because PC Master Race.
Well, see, this I think is not as big a deal as Master Chief Collection coming to Steam because these weren't published by PlayStation. They were just like kind of a deal, and I'm not sure if that was probably just like a loyalty thing. There probably wasn't a contract in place saying that you did, but Epic it seems like Epic is chasing developers. Like they're not just sitting in their chair going like, we're here if you want us. Epic probably approached them and said, hey, we'll give you money. We will do what you need to get it onto the Epic Game Store, to try and bring them over, because I don't think it was probably Quantic Dreams like, oh, this is our chance. That is probably Epic that approached them. I can't say that for sure. I don't know, but like that's the way I would think of like, why would they go now into the Epic Game Store? It's probably because Epic's chasing developers, trying to get more games for their platform, exclusives. So, it's interesting, and we'll see, I guess, that as more news like this comes out, the Epic Game Store will be getting bigger, and we'll see, what that means down the road in terms of how it competes with Steam and how it stands on its own. Do you think some Riot and Valve developers could stand on their own?
So it's actually just ex-Valve developers.
Oh.
And then, an ex-Valve developer and a Riot developer. They're being backed by Riot Games at this new studio, so they're still being supported by Riot. But yeah, they're making a new studio. Chet Felizek and the former Riot Games technical designer Kimberly Vole, they're making a new game studio, and it's called Stray Bombay. And they're going to focus on cooperative multiplayer games featuring enemies and experiences driven by artificial intelligence. Felizek worked on like Portal, Left 4 Dead, and Half-Life 2, and he also helped with I Am Bread and Worlds Adrift with Bossa Studios, and Vole was with Riot.
Shout out to Kimberly Vole.
Why? What the fuck? Okay. So they announced Stray Bombay, and then they added that they're going to go dark for a little bit as we start laying the foundation of our new world. So I'm excited to see what comes out of their heads, because I loved Portal, and I own all of the Half-Life games and have never played any of them. I Am Bread was infuriating, but fun to watch. And I play a lot of League of Legends, so I'm sure it's not going to be like League of Legends, but, I'm excited about it. I'm a fangirl, even though they're trash.
It is interesting the amount of games that have come out since the rise of YouTube and Twitch that are, like, not really fun games. They're just, like, funny to watch someone else play. Like Surgeon Simulator and I Am Bread and all of these games that, like...
And that other one that was popular this year.
Is the one with the guy in the pot.
Yeah.
Getting Over It. With
there you go.
Yeah, Getting Over It. That, like...
Yeah, that one was garbage.
They're frustrating to play, but, like, they're like targeted at streamers and you don't really see those games existing previously, and if they did, they probably weren't successful or noted, but these like frustrating games exist for YouTubers and streamers to rage at and people to watch. But yeah, I just the fact that you mentioned I Am Bread being like unfun to play but fun to watch just made me think about how like that is a weird thing that exists these days due to the rise of content creation. You know what else is content creation?
No.
The making of PubG.
Okay. That's true.
Who made that?
Brendan Green, aka Player Unknown.
What's he up to these days?
He is moving to a new development role on PubG, and the new role will focus on research and game development. He said, "It's been an incredible journey, and our game has reached heights I never thought possible. Seeing the game grow into what it is today has been a dream come true, and I can't thank our fans and the incredible team at PubG Corporation enough." But he's going to take what seems like maybe more of a background. He's researching game development. I mean, research is definitely a little bit more background, I feel. It also says he's moving from the PubG Corporation studio in Seoul to one in Amsterdam, where he's going to build a new team.
And they're called the Avengers.
Yep. What is it in Rick and Morty?
I don't remember. I haven't seen Rick and Morty in a hot minute. The Suspenders.
No, the Vindicators.
Oh, I was going to say Revengers. Do you have an opinion about it? Does it evoke emotions?
You know, I hope that it means good things for PubG, because that game has almost completely fallen off of my spectrum.
I'm not sure that's the right word.
It meant a lot to me for a while. What's not the right word?
Spectrum. This game's on my spectrum.
Yeah. Hold on. Used to classify something or suggest that it can be classified in terms of its position on a scale between two extreme or opposite points, or a wide range. So like I've got a spectrum of games that I play. PUBG is no longer on it. It's fallen off of the spectrum. This is my spectrum. It looks like a rainbow.
Okay, that's fine.
And PUBG was in there somewhere. At one point, it was right in the middle of the spectrum where I saw it the most. And now, it's on the bottom. It's fell off of the spectrum, and I don't see it anymore.
Would you like to see a new game in the Crypt of the Necrodancer line of products?
You know, okay, so before seeing this article, I didn't know what Crypt of the Necrodancer is, and I'm still not sure that I know exactly what it is.
So Crypt of the Necrodancer, do you know what a roguelike is?
Give me some names of some roguelikes.
Rogue.
No.
To be clear, roguelike is because the original game was Rogue, and people are like, well, we don't really know what... This is kind of a thing of its own, and we don't know what to call other games that are similar to this, though they've just been called roguelikes. There's actually a lot of games that are technically roguelikes.
Oh, Binding of Isaac is a roguelike. Yeah. Okay, yes.
Basically, it's like a...
All right, hold on. Let me just stop you before you get there. When I saw Crypt of the Necrodancer, I was like, oh, is this a rhythm game? But like, goth?
I mean, it is a rhythm game roguelike.
What?
So yeah, you're playing along to the beat. Like you want to move along to the beat, and like if you do your attacks along with the beat, then you won't take damage. Want to know something really cool about that game, Darrian?
Yes.
You can play it with a dance pad.
Oh, that sounds troubling. Do they have a dance pad for the Switch?
See, I was wondering that because I know that you can plug in a dance pad to the PC and play that way. I don't know if it's going to work with the Switch. I guess it might not, but yeah. You can also play just normal, so I guess we'll find out as we learn more. But tell me about this new thing that you haven't actually mentioned yet. You just told us what Crypt of the Necrodancer. Well, I told you what Crypt of the Necrodancer is.
So the title of this article is The Legend of Zelda meets Crypt of the Necrodancer in new rhythm game, Cadence of Hyrule.
Thank you to Polygon.
Yeah, all of my stuff, all of the articles that I get are from Polygon. I'm sorry. I know that Caitlin Galizero would hate me for that so much.
If we talk about like quote the article, I feel like it's right to shout out the deal. If we're just talking about the news, then it's,
Shout out not only to Polygon, but to Chris Plant.
Yeah.
The person who wrote it.
Okay, let's focus on the video game that we're discussing. It's called Cadence of Hyrule, and it's
a game.
It's Crypt of the Necrodancer.
But Zelda.
But yeah, you are playing in Hyrule with you have the, I guess, girl character that is from Crypt of the Necrodancer. I own Crypt of the Necrodancer. I played it maybe once. But you can also play with Link and Zelda.
See, that's what got my attention.
It looks cool. The world looks cool. It seems cute and nice.
I like that Zelda's a playable character. That's exciting. I'm excited. I will probably get it.
Do it and then rig up a dance pad.
I will not do that. Sorry.
You should get Crypt of the Necrodancer on PC.
I'm gonna get Crypt of the Necrodancer on the Switch because I think it's a Switch exclusive. It's not a Switch exclusive.
You mean
that is coming?
Cadence of Hyrule. You're gonna get Cadence of Hyrule on Switch.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. I'm getting Cadence of Hyrule on the Switch. You're right. I'm sorry. Forgive me. But you know what? Isn't a words. God damn it, you ruined the flow. I was ready to go.
Perhaps another game from a Xbox exclusive coming to a new platform, which we could have segued this from earlier. That would have been another segue point, but we're doing it here.
I set it up together in a way that made sense to me, and you just came in and you slashed it all to bits. You said, Darrian, I was late, and you set up the outline wrong because of it. Cuphead is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and I'm really excited about it. I really like Cuphead. I don't like playing it on the computer because I have to use a controller, and I hate setting up my Xbox controller for my computer. I got the fancy stick so that I can just do it, and it's, it's fine, but, I don't always charge it, so, I don't know.
You don't charge your controller?
No.
Okay, that seems to be just a controller issue. I guess I have batteries in mine. I don't have a charge thing, so I just swap out batteries. So
it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. Cuphead is, and it's beautiful, and it has pretty music, and it's just enraging, but I'm kind of excited about it anyway. I liked Cuphead, and I would love to play it on a portable way. I said that about Undertale as well, and I still have yet to actually get Undertale on the Nintendo Switch, mostly because I don't know if I have the emotional capacity to play Undertale right now. So I want it, but yeah, Cuphead's coming to the Nintendo Switch, and it's beautiful. It's coming in April.
I should play Undertale someday. I think when I play Undertale, it's going to be on the Switch. I need to get there. And maybe
I want to get the collector's edition.
Maybe I'll play it on a new Switch because Nintendo has come at us with some... let me see, Wall Street Journal. Okay, so this is kind of this comes from Polygon's article by Chris Grant. And they are referring to the Wall Street Journal is reporting that Nintendo is readying 2 Switch models, which is going to be kind of the like Xbox One X and Xbox One S type deal. Well, I guess both of them are more powerful, but this one seems to be there's going to be a more powerful Switch version that's going to be more expensive, with what they're saying will have enhanced features for the core gaming audience. It's seems to be unclear what that is. Maybe higher resolution screen or more power, unsure. But they're saying there will also be a cheaper option to, appeal to people who want to Switch but not at $300. Now, Darrian, you're probably going, but how could they make it any cheaper? Apparently, they are saying that the company is looking to remove the HD rumble from the Switch to help reduce costs. The quote says the company judged the new Switch models won't need the vibration feature because there wouldn't be many games released using the full benefit of it, one source told the journal. The lack of vibration suggests a console without removable Joy-Con controllers, fitting the strategy of the 3DS replacement. See, here's another problem with that. And I think it is great having having a cheaper model, having a pro model. But if you remove the HD rumble from any device, we're never going to get more. Well, I guess I don't want to say never, but that's going to greatly reduce the chance of games using HD rumble, because why create games with HD rumble if some of your audience isn't going to be able to use them? It's like Mario Party uses HD rumble, and it's definitely not every game doesn't use it, and as a rarity, it's like, oh, one mini game will do this. But you're probably going to see it very rarely, if at all, if it's not going to be available on all devices. And that kind of sucks, because this decision is going to remove a rarely used feature, but kind of like a feature of the Switch. So I'm kind of sad about that. I'm also wondering, like, I guess that would also affect stuff like Toycons, because Toycons use rumble to like there's the little like robot car thing that you put your Joy-Con into after building the cardboard, and he'll like move around using the rumble. So that would obviously need HD rumble to kind of make those specific vibrations.
Well, didn't they also suggest like making it so the Joy-Cons don't detach? This
article seems to suggest that might be a possibility. So
I mean, if you're getting the cheaper version, you're probably not. I mean, you're definitely not going to be able to play Labo.
Okay, here's the question with that. So does that mean it's strictly a portable? Are you going to dock it? If you're going to dock it, what are you going to have to buy separate controllers?
Well, doesn't that article also suggest it's supposed to like replace the Nintendo 3DS?
I mean, yeah, it does suggest it would be a fitting 3DS replacement, but
I think it would still be dockable. But
I get it's hard. This is all rumors. We don't know, but like that would be a weird choice, because I think the selling point. I think it is great that a person could only play it as a portable, but to say this thing is only a portable, that you're gonna have to buy separate controllers or it can't even be docked, would be weird. But I guess, well, that seems to just be speculation. We'll find out more later on. But definitely interesting to see that Nintendo's kind of like mixing up what the Switch is. And I'm more curious to see what the Pro version looks like than to see what features they're pulling out for the cheaper version. While I'm playing on the Nintendo Switch device, other people are probably playing Apex on other devices because things are happening in that game.
So Apex released a battle pass, which people have been asking for, which is exciting. It cost 950 Apex coins, which is about $9.50, and it came out on March 19th. Alongside the battle pass, they also released Octane, who's a new character, their first character that they've been adding. And the battle pass includes unlocks for most of the game's characters, as well as items like banners and poses and skins for Lifeline, Wraith, and Mirage. It says that it also includes skins for most of the guns with over 100 unlocks in total. You can level up the battle pass by gaining XP in the game. Its final reward is a rare skin for the Havoc Energy Rifle, which was the first post-launch weapon, which is last time I played, which is like over 2 weeks ago, it was broken. I told everybody, battle royales are not always what I want to play. All right, so Apex was fun, but also I need to like reset my computer. It's having issues. So Apex is not fun to play right now because my computer is shitting the bed.
While your computer is shitting the bed, you could play on your PlayStation 4 in some sort of cowboy game.
Nope, can't do that. Okay. I'm good. I can play League of Legends and have no issues, so.
Well, maybe if your computer's not working well, maybe you could stream your video games to your phone using Google Stadia.
It's to your phone?
It can be to anything. So Google announced Stadia, which is their streaming platform for games. They announced this at GDC. I watched the press conference, so I'm just going to tell you what I saw. Google Man came out. There was a few Google people. It seems that the game people have much better stage presence than the engineers. I did notice that, like, okay, you are the CEO of the company, but like when Mr. Game Developer came out, it's like he has much better stage presence. But they are. So we already kind of knew this was coming because they had that Assassin's Creed game stream beta that they were doing where you could play Assassin's Creed Odyssey in Google Chrome and for free and test it out. It didn't work very well for me. Teddy said it worked great for him. And I think that's due to the fact that is being streamed from a Google data center. So I'm guessing that Teddy probably has a data center near him. I probably don't. And they showed a map of where their data centers are, and it seems like they have a lot of them and they're all over the place. But they're going to allow people to stream games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, AAA games, to whatever device they want. They could stream it to their laptop, to their phone, to their computer, or to their TV, whatever, from the Google data center. I guess like it's another streaming service. This isn't the first time we've seen you can stream your games. Like PlayStation has PlayStation Now. And there's other ones who have, we've already seen Xbox is trying to do the same thing. But Google has the technology. They have the data centers, I guess, they said data centers quite a bit during their presentation. And that's basically what they're trying to say is like, hey, we have the connections. You can connect directly to our data center, which will be nearby, so it should work well. They were saying like, oh, you can stream in 4K and stuff. I don't know. I think under certain circumstances you can, and I think when it works well, like under perfect conditions, it'll work well. I think if you don't live near a data center, or you have a poor connection, or there's a million reasons that it would not work well. But yeah, they're talking about things like you could see a trailer for a new Fallout game, and at the end of the YouTube video, because obviously who owns YouTube, they'll be able to like play it now, and then you can click on it, and then you're in the game. So because they're like streaming stuff, things can be very instantaneous. They're also announced a controller that will allow, basically the controller will link will be linked to your Wi-Fi, and the and that'll link to the data center. So that way it kind of removes the point of interaction. So that way you don't have to, like, if you were playing, you can play on whatever controller you want. But with their controller, they're saying it's going to work a little bit better because it's connected to the data center. So if you were playing like with an Xbox controller on your PC, the controller would have to talk to your PC. Then your PC would have to tell the data center what you're doing, and go back. If the controller is talking directly to data center, that removes the point of interaction and should make it work faster. But that's kind of like if it's down to that, I think, that's very small latency. There's also some small stuff like, oh, you can ask Google Assistant for help, and they'll pull up a YouTube video of how to do it. And then like people who are streaming to YouTube. One of the cool things for people who stream to YouTube, I thought was cool, is that it would be zero latency. Like the people watching on stream would have straight like zero latency, because obviously they're both coming from the data center. YouTube streams and the game are both coming from the same location, so they'd pipe it to you at the same place and your YouTube. So that would be kind of cool for those people. But like, Google talked a big game about what they're capable of, and until it comes out, I'm not gonna say anything. And honestly, even if there are reports that it works well, I don't think I would buy a game that can only be streamed. If it was like, hey, you can buy this game and you can stream it if you want, but you can also download it and play it normal. So that like, if you don't have an internet connection or a very good internet connection, you can just play it. Or if you like have a good connection, or you're outside the house, that's what I would love, if you could do like a cloud save deal and just upload your save to the cloud and go like, oh, I'm gonna go play on my phone now. And then when you're done doing that, go back to playing your download on your computer. There's some ways this could work well. The only way I think I would try it right now is like trying out a game of the like, hey, I saw a trailer for Assassin's Creed and there's a button to try it now. I would do that. There's no reason I wouldn't just try out games using the service. I probably wouldn't buy anything. But they announced that they are creating a development studio that is making games for Stadia. If it was a Stadia exclusive and it's supposed to be that good, I'd be willing to try it. But that's about it. And there's a lot of questions I have, and we will see a lot more down the road, but Google announced a video game streaming service is the thing. Any thoughts, Darrian?
I mean, you said a lot of stuff.
Did you listen to any of it?
A little bit here and there.
Okay. Well, here's some more stuff, and this comes from Mr. PlayStation. They did a PlayStation State of Play, which people are associating with like a Nintendo Direct, but for PlayStation. And we'll be curious to see if this is kind of how they're going to be promoting their stuff in the future, if they're going to try and go a Nintendo Direct route with their announcements. I was unable to watch the whole thing. I'll probably watch it either tonight or tomorrow when I have some more free time. I just had a long day at work and had to get straight into stream. But here's the news stories I was able to pick up by skimming the news feed from Polygon. Shout out to Mr. Polygon. So they announced an Iron Man VR game coming to PlayStation VR. Basically, it's gonna, be you playing as Iron Man, fighting villains and stuff. The gameplay that they showed looked fairly basic, but it's cool to have a big name, a big name Marvel character in a VR game, and we'll see how polished it ends up being. But the thing that's got me more excited is that they announced No Man's Sky will begin full VR support for PS4 and PC. I don't have PS VR. I've been thinking about it. If it gets to the right price or I end up having some money to blow, I might end up going that way. But I already have the HTC Vive, the best VR headset. And I might actually be willing to buy No Man's Sky on PC to play it in VR, because that's a really cool game. It's a cool world and the visuals are interesting, so it might actually be very cool to be able to play that in VR. I guess that just you can play No Man's Sky in VR in the future, and that's kind of cool. It very much seems like there are some people who came away from the state of play. I was looking on Twitter, a lot of people seem disappointed with the state of play, but people who have PlayStation VR seemed, excited with the titles coming out. So it seemed to be more focused on that type of stuff. That's about it for the news. We actually had a decent amount of news stories. Most of them
more than we've had lately.
Most of them were provided by Dexterity.
Mm-hmm. And they were all bad.
That's mean.
Something I want to talk about. That's not actual news. It's just a leak from League.
Okay.
It's potential real leak. I don't know. They didn't release. There was a leak probably of a bunch of skins that they're probably in development of.
Exactly how many times can you say probably while talking about this?
Probably a few more times. Anyway, there's about 30 of them on the list. One of them is a confirmed skin, for sure they're working on it, so it's hard to say if the rest of them are confirmed or not. And a lot of times they'll start developing a skin and it's not very good, so they'll stop developing it. But they've got new skins coming for a lot of my mains, and I'm shook and really excited.
Well, you know what excites the hosts of Ready Set Gamecast?
Money.
Our Patreon.
Haha.
Our Patreon producers. I forgot that they are our Patreon producers. I was going to do that, but now
you can also do it.
It's done. It's done. Tell them about who they are and what they do for the show.
All right. Last Geek has launched a Patreon to help you make great content.
You're nailing it.
Last Geek has launched a Patreon to help make great content like this podcast for the low, low price of $5 a month. You can get a shout out on every episode of Ready Set Gamecast like Aaron C. and Dragons Lucas did. Or if you do $8 a month, you can be on both of the podcasts that Bryce is in, the other one being Game Make Corp. And it's really funny, although I'm not caught up. And I don't plan to listen back. I'll listen to the next episode. I'm sorry.
Wow. That you have to listen to them all because there's an elaborate story playing out.
I don't think there is. They're all callbacks every once in a while, which is really fun. I wouldn't be able to do that, but
there is a story that there's stuff happening that is down the line that we're talking about.
So you're planning a story, and so now I should listen every week because you're going to start implementing that story, and that's fine. That's what I will do, and you should do it too. And give us $8 on Patreon so that Bryce can make money off of his content creation.
I'm gonna run through the tiers that are currently available right now. $1 gets you the bonus content. Each year we put out a bonus piece of content for each show. This one for Race at Gamecast, we each had a question, but for the most part, we kind of talked about our year and what we're looking forward to in the future. And that was some cool discussions. And we'll do another one for this year going forward.
Yeah, when is that?
We'll be releasing content in August. August is the big Patreon time that lots of exciting things will be happening that I'm talking to people about cool stuff.
You're in talks with the big leagues?
Yeah, I told Darrian stuff, but she wasn't listening, so.
I was listening.
And then for $5, you can be a Patreon producer of Race at Gamecast. Or if you like Game Make Corp better, then you can get an investor shout out for Game Make Corp. But what if you like them both? You can get shout outs on both podcasts for $8. Now, this one no one's done, but you could be the first. For $20, you can get digital mail. I and or one of the other co-hosts will send you an email and be like, hey, you're awesome. Did you know that? Well, you are. And then for $30, we'll send you physical mail. You want a sticker? Or like this? We'll put that in the letter. You want something else? Maybe that'll be in the mail.
You want me to put a kiss on a letter that I'll write to you personally, and I'll use my fun, sparkly lipstick to do it?
$30 can make your dreams come true. Yeah, those are our current tiers. If you want to support us at any of those, we will greatly appreciate it. $1 gets some more content from us that I think will be worth it. But our fine Patreon producers want that content, and we need to continue the show with a topic of the show.
This is the topic of the show.
You were waving your hands, and then you realize this is an audio podcast. I need to say things. Nintendo has shown its willingness to lend out its characters and properties to non-Nintendo studios, like with Mario vs. Rabbids, and now with Cadence of Hyrule. What developers would you like to see make a Nintendo game, and what property would they use?
I want to see Pokemon in League of Legends.
What? Okay, that's okay. I don't think that's the same. I don't think somebody's like, hey, take Mario and put him in Skyrim.
Make Mario a playable character in literally every game ever.
I was gonna say you can't put Mario in Skyrim, but then I remembered they put Zelda in Skyrim. So maybe I don't know what. Put Mario in Skyrim. I guess if they put League on Switch, that might be a thing. Yeah, definitely. I think the property I would want would be Pokemon, and I would want them to do something big. I would love they seem to be willing to get more buck wild with Pokemon, with Detective Pikachu and that kind of whole world. I would love a game that is like that. That is kind of like a steampunk, like Pokemon are more than just the cutesy thing that we see in the games and the anime. I would love, and I'm trying to think of what developer. I guess CD Projekt Red. A Pokemon with CD Projekt Red, because CD Projekt Red is currently working on the Cyberpunk 2099 game. They also did Witcher. That would be a Pokemon from them would be very, very cool. I guess that's not really how Nintendo's doing it. They're basically lending their characters to something else. They're not like, hey, you make a Pokemon, you make a Mario. They're just we'll let you put Mario in the thing that you're already doing. I'm trying. Yeah,
I would like to see
Mm-hmm.
Hyrule
Yeah,
in Kingdom Hearts.
that's okay. Um, Darrian, did you put in? Oh God, that's a lot of questions.
Uh-huh. The answer is yes.
You're doing those questions.
Yep, let's do it.
Okay.
Do you want to be a part of the show? Go to readysetgamecast.com/submit to submit a question, comment, or your favorite armor set in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for us to read on the show. The first and... Oh, sorry, go.
I was going to say, like, the Guardian. I think that my favorite armor set I wanted to get, but I, like, couldn't get the parts for. And I think the armor set I wanted to get is what got me going down amiibos. I ended up getting a random Kirby amiibo because it was on clearance, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. It's just a figure. But then it was like, I need Guardian parts, Guardian cores or whatever, to be able to get this stuff. And I was like, there's not really an easy way to get them, but wait, there's an amiibo that'll just give them to you. So then I started buying amiibos, and now I have a shelf thing. I have many of them.
Can I buy all of your Legend of Zelda amiibos?
I have a shelf that is 90% Zelda characters. And I've only played Breath of the Wild.
I've also only played Breath of the Wild.
Questions?
The first question is from Snow, and it says, what are y'all thoughts on the Switch Pro and Switch Mini? Are those real confirmed things?
Washington Street, no. What is their name? Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal is reporting it. Like, Nintendo hasn't said anything, so it's not like confirmed until Nintendo says something. So, you know, no. Then if we're saying confirmed, no, it's not technically confirmed.
But I mean, doesn't that kind of line up with the
I think we've heard rumors of this
better and cheaper version that they have confirmed?
Have we? I don't think they've confirmed that at all. I think there's been rumors for a minute, but I don't think they haven't.
I thought you said we don't talk about rumors on the show.
You put in the news story.
Yeah, but you didn't delete it.
I think I'm
It says
excited.
it will be released as early as next summer. So
I'm
I think
excited
that's
to
as
see
good as
what kind of
confirmed.
features are added to the Pro. I'm upset about them basically the fact that they're going to remove features from one of them means that we're not going to see those features in games much. It's like when they stop making Kinects, it's like you're never going to see a Kinect again, or you're never going to see a Kinect game anymore. What? Yeah. Once they removed Kinects as a requirement from Xbox One ones, it's like, well, we might have seen some Kinect games because you knew that everybody could play them because everybody had a Kinect. But then once they were like, oh, it's not there, it's not with every Kinect, or it's not with every Xbox, you're like, oh, we're probably not going to see Kinect games again. And yeah, they stopped making them, and we're not getting Kinect games. But yeah, I mean, vibration really wasn't the biggest thing ever. It was just kind of cool.
Yeah, it's nice. And I will definitely be getting a new vamped up Switch to have my games play in more frames. Not that it really matters, but there are some places where you can tell.
I need to know what the Pro version has before I...
What are the specs?
Yeah. That's my opinion.
All right. I want a Pro. I like the name Pro. It makes me feel special. So, even though they're not confirmed, they're pretty much confirmed.
Okay. That's not the official opinion of Ready Set Gamecast. It's the opinion of Dexterity.
That's the official opinion of me, Dexterity, your favorite Ready Set Gamecast host.
Is there any other questions?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Okay, Zombie Owl also asked, or Zombie Owl 22, twitch.tv/Zombie Owl 22. He's a good friend of mine. He's pretty awesome. The first thing that he said was, so State of Play was shown today with a lot of mixed opinions, maybe more so negative, but do you think it will eventually be able to shape up like Nintendo Direct has over the years? Or do you think, since the first presentation was a rocky start, that they go back to having main announcements at conventions, mainly E3, PAX, etc.?
I think people have shown that basically they highlighted what people are calling like lower tier games that might you wouldn't announce these at an E3, so that I don't want they pulled out E3. I would like to see them come back and or bring back PSX, possibly both, but I think this fills a niche of like, this isn't worth E3. This is an addition to, like, this is a nice presentation package for highlighting smaller games, highlighting unique experiences. So I don't think this is going to replace E3. I think it's going to be along with E3, and it's going to be, something different from that.
Well, because they're not going to be at E3 this year, right?
Right, and they also canceled PSX, but I think that might be, they didn't have anything big. They're probably preparing for bigger things, and that's probably why, not so much that, like, they're never coming to E3 again.
I don't know. I think it could start to be more like Nintendo Directs. I think that they started off with stuff that they were going to highlight for stuff that is only available on their platform, like VR. And I think that over time they're going to be able to start figuring out better ways to highlight more things. But I don't think that they would necessarily go back to E3. I think they're going to drive more in this.
I think if they don't go back to E3, it's because E3 died.
They killed it, to be honest.
I think E3 killed itself. They've made some weird choices. But E3 is still a big deal, and that is, if they announce the PlayStation 5, that's either going to be at PSX, if they bring back PSX, or they do that at E3. They're not going to do one of these, I don't think, for something that big. I would hope.
Sure.
But I also think that these State of Play things are going to stick around. It's not going to go... Yeah. We're not going to see them do either one. They're not going to go hard either way.
Right. The next question is, what are the current thoughts on the business relationship between Microsoft and Nintendo, as they seem to make collaboration efforts with the gaming community? Do you think Sony will need to start making more moves beneficial to consumers/gamers, such as cross-platform, backwards compatibility, etc.?
I think Sony's on top, and they're not scared. They're kind of carving out their own niche with like VR. They're pushing that, and that's where they're trying to succeed in because they already have the core gamer kind of locked down. Xbox has been trying to like succeed in their own ways of pretty much buying up developers. The collaboration between Microsoft and Nintendo is very, very interesting to see how they're working up, but also Microsoft seems to just be more friendly in general, because we are seeing Microsoft on Steam, Halo on Steam, and like that might just be more about what Microsoft isn't just we're Xbox. They're saying we're games. We are where you are. Do you play on Switch? We'll come to you. Do you play on Steam? We'll be there. I think that's more about Microsoft willing to go to you rather than saying come to us. And because Nintendo has, is the hot thing right now. They're trying to collab with them there.
I like that perspective. I think Sony is starting to be scared though, because they're acting like they're invincible and like no matter what, they're going to be on top. And I don't think that's the case. I think people are pushing towards a more connected gameplay experience, as seen with cross-platform playing. And I do think Sony's going to need to start to make moves to be better for gamers, or gamers are going to start questioning, is it worth it to be playing on the PlayStation if I can play with all my friends on any other platform but that one?
I think how the next console, each of their next consoles, the Microsoft and PlayStation 5, or I would hope that they call it the PlayStation 5. Like,
it'd be out of character for them to not.
Yeah. But however they market their next console, I think is really going to decide how things go forward. And it definitely does seem like Sony has been more going like, okay, I guess you guys can do it, do cross-platform on specific things. They're realize that they kind of need to give in on some of these battles to stay, favorable with gamers,
Mm-hmm.
but they still do have such a grip on core gamers that they don't need to be that forgiving. They can kind of be like, you want to play with PlayStation gamers, buy a PlayStation. They kind of have that many of the gamers to be able to
Mm-hmm.
go like where I'm more likely to say, hey, just buy a PlayStation. It's you have an Xbox, but really you'd be better suited with a PlayStation. I think their gamers are a marketing because it's the only place for them to play. You want to play Apex with me? Buy a PlayStation. It's the better console is what their gamers are going to say. It's what I'd probably say. So yeah.
Yeah, I like playing on PlayStation more. I want to see more people embracing backwards compatibility, though. Like, I'm still really sad that I have lost a lot of my progress on, like, past Nintendo games because they don't give a shit about backwards compatibility in their games. And they make it hard to get, like, old school games on their stores. Like, there's a lot of titles that aren't available, and I really want to see like Mario Party 7, and I want to see Nintendo 64 games and things like that. And I wish Nintendo would do more backwards compatibility. That's not really entirely related to the discussion. I just saw backwards compatibility and got really sad because
Okay.
I want to play Mario Party 7.
Well, what other questions do you want to discuss?
With many saying the strongest thing Red Dead 2 has going for it is the single-player story, do you think that Red Dead Online will eventually make a comeback with the recent updates they have been trying to do? Or do you think it will continue to fade and not succeed as well as its previous predecessor or GTA Online?
I mean, GTA Online people didn't love right out the gate. It had a lot of issues, and then they kept adding content, which seems to be a lot with these like games as services products, is that they don't have much and then they keep adding stuff, and then finally people are like, oh, it's good now. They made it good. The advantage being that like, hey, like, this isn't Fallout 76 where if you're buying it, it is just the game as a service. This is like an additional thing. Problem with it, honestly, is more that it feels like a cash grab. The game does have a story. There is unique stuff going on. If you're asking me, the strongest part about the Red Dead Redemption 2 is the world and the characters. That, like, when you're riding from town to town, there's all of these interactions where like you'll find somebody who's been bitten by a snake. You'll ride past all of these carts and like somebody, bounty hunters who are taking somebody to jail and stuff. And all of these like interactions that it makes the world feel so alive. That's not in online. There is barely any NPCs. And then the PCs just are acting like, weird people either shooting at each other or not. It takes away from the life that the what's kind of funny about it is by having actual people in it, it feels less alive, and that's because it lacks the NPCs and stuff. And I guess I can't tell you what the story of the online, if that goes anywhere interesting. I very much doubt it, because the Arthur's gang and the people in it is what makes the story great. Of like, oh, it's, what they're doing is so. It's the fact that like who you're doing with it, of like each character is interesting, and your interactions with them are so interesting that, oh, we're going to go rob a bank. It's interesting because of who you're doing it with and how they're reacting and how Arthur reacts. The fact that your character doesn't have a personality or a voice also takes away from it. So if you're just wanting to shoot at stuff, then yeah, you might have fun with Red Dead Redemption Online. Unless they can add characters and liven up the world, I don't see it ever being as good as Red Dead Redemption single player. It might become as good as become as good as Grand Theft Auto Online. But honestly, like with Grand Theft Auto Online, you can also get more buck wild. You can have a helicopter. You can get some fancy cars and stuff. You can't really do that with you get a fancy horse. It's not quite the same thing. So I don't think they're trying to be Grand Theft Auto Online with Red Dead Redemption Online, and they can't be that, and they're not the single player. So I don't know how they're gonna find success there. And I guess Rockstar might keep pushing, and we'll see what they do. Any other questions?
Yes. There are many questions.
Keep going.
This one is my favorite. Just kidding. He did have something to add on here. He said, funny story, when it comes to the Red Dead 2 Online, the pricing when launched was actually worse before updates, along with a ton of bugs and some missing features. Sorry for the chair squeaks. I don't know why it's squeaking so bad.
Okay.
Those are his thoughts.
It's not surprising that it started out worse and then people complained and then it got slightly better but still bad. That seems to be the case with a lot of these games.
All right. Thoughts on Epic Game Store controversies, especially when it comes to picking up exclusives for competition, or the percentage being lowered when it comes to shares compared to Valve with Steam.
I feel like we've talked about this on a previous episode.
Yeah, I don't think he listens to the podcast.
Wow.
So we can just assess it. It's fine. I don't think that new listeners are going to be like, oh, let me go listen to old episodes of video game news. No.
What's great is because we do the topic of the show that it's more than just the news. We talk about the things beyond what's currently happening.
Bryce and Teddy talk about the topic of the show while Darrian zones out and is in her own world.
I'm glad I picked you for this podcast. Next episode, Darrian's going to be wearing Ready Set Gamecast leggings.
I don't think it'll be next episode, but I will be wearing Ready Set Gamecast leggings at some point, and I will show them off to everybody because I'm going to be very excited. He also had some thoughts. He said, despite what people may think of the Epic Games Store controversies, having games such as Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human coming to the PC storefront is somewhat of a big deal, especially since it will not be available on Steam, as far as I know, which is true. It is going to be exclusive for the Epic Games Store, at least for the first year. The following on those games are huge. Having an early start on the PC market allows them to have a really good foundation for a PC audience that are interested in those games from those developers. If I'm not mistaken, they are usually Sony exclusive as it is, which is also true. I think all of those games... No, Beyond Two Souls came to the Xbox at some point, didn't it?
No idea. So I'm gonna a little bit repeat myself about the Epic Game Store. I think it's good that they are, giving a very good cut to developers. Encourages Steam to do the same, and developers deserve a good money for their work, especially indie ones. Obviously, big developers don't need it as much, but I guess they still, do. Maybe we'll see price reductions and stuff like that from them. But, and then, competition, as a lot of people, I still support Steam just because they've been around for a while. They've got technology that I'm about and stuff like that. But I like Epic being in here competing because it's going to push Steam to compete for the first time in a very long time. And hopefully we
hope.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing they've updated their UI. They're making changes, and it might not be in response to the Epic Game Store. It might just be changes they made, but we might be seeing other changes. I mean, it could be in response. We have no idea, and I'll be curious to see, what Epic Game Store's moves make Steam respond with, and I think them going back and forth is going to be good for gamers in the end.
I hope to see an official response that's obviously to something that Epic has done. I don't know that there are many Epic Game Store controversies because Epic Game Store is just being competitive. I think there are more Steam controversies ever since the Epic Game Store came out because it's more heavily curated and it's a better percentage, and Steam is kind of a dumpster fire, and that's just about anything on it. They took the back seat as far as curation goes. They're like, yeah, I mean, pretty much everything that's not trolling or racist or trolling or
I presented this as a possible topic of the show about basically Steam's curation, and Darrian said she didn't have an opinion, and then it very much seems like Darrian has an opinion about it. But maybe that'll be a future topic of the show about how Steam curates their games. Until then, we've got more questions.
Yeah. I am excited for Detroit coming to the PC. I don't want the Epic Game Store, though, so I'm probably just going to have to wait a couple years to get it myself, if it ever comes to Steam. I have it on the PlayStation until then. Halo on PC is also a massive thing because it is also coming to Steam, and both the Steam community and the Xbox community on the Microsoft storefront will be sharing servers, which is big news. That's just an opinion, not a question. Not an opinion, that's a statement.
We do have questions, comments, or favorite.
That's true. That's a comment. Or your favorite, what did I say for this time? Armor set for Breath of the Wild. I didn't answer that one.
I mean, typically we don't. We leave that to...
I'd like to.
Okay, well, if somebody sends in theirs, because usually that's how it ends up working, is that we present a thing. If somebody sends in, then we might respond next time.
Yeah, hey guys, tell me what your favorite armor set is on Breath of the Wild and tell me why. The next question is thoughts on Riot or separate teams still having talk or rumors making a League MMO still, or do you think it will just remain a rumor at this point due to the success of League and the position it has on esports? I have had a really hard time getting into MMOs because it's really hard for me to find something that isn't already saturated with so much content that you have to learn. in order to get a lot of the little references and fun things that they do in the game. But I think if Riot released a League of Legends MMO, I would be heavily ahead because I'm kind of a lore whore as far as League goes. I literally spent my lunch break today just reading backstories on the champions that I realized that I haven't read in a while, just to see if they've been updated. And I think a League MMO would be really cool. I think it's a possibility, but I don't think that it's going to be in the forefront at any point unless League starts to see a dip. But like, they're still able to brag about their huge numbers because it's just such a huge game in general, and it has such a massive following. Even though Riot has come out and had some pretty shitty stuff as far as sexism and things like that in the development team, or in the team in general, I guess. I would like to see them improve as a company, and I would like to see a League MMO. Riot, please. I would subscribe to that. And you know how bad people were addicted to WoW when that first came out? Yeah, that'll be me, except I'll still have to go to work, but like work in League MMO. That's it. Yeah, no, I think because of its huge position, it could I think they might still be secretly working on it in the back. Especially with the idea that the Stray Bombay is a thing. Maybe they're going to do a League MMO through Stray Bombay instead of just Riot. And it's Riot backed. Who knows? Although it's only a 2-person development team. Anyway, okay, next question, because Bryce doesn't give a fuck about League of Legends. People are starting to notice that there's a rise of developers and companies relying on Twitch streamers and YouTubers becoming not just their target audience, but using them as a media source for advertising said games, at least more than commercial standards nowadays. Thoughts? I feel like this is sprung from like the Ninja thing, right? Where Epic gave him $1,000. No, Apex gave him $1,000 or $1 million to play Apex. Is that the thing?
I don't know.
Somebody gave him $1 million to play something.
You're so knowledgeable.
I think it was Apex.
He did play Apex. I do know that he hopped over there for a minute.
Yup. EA paid Ninja $1 million to stream Apex Legends, which is, so is EA, not, is it Respawn that made?
Respawn is the developer, yes.
Yes, nailed it. Okay.
I mean, the fact that like streamers and YouTubers are, I mean, they're called influencers, and I hate that term for a reason. They're called influencers for a reason. I hate that term. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
But they like, people buy these games because of, they saw a streamer play it and stuff, and that is a legitimate thing. I mean, I have bought games because of streams. People might have heard of games and bought them because of us. Those people would be Darrian. And but I don't think it's been slowly growing since YouTubers and Twitch has become a thing, and it's kind of hitting critical mass at this point. I do think like basically older traditional media like IGN and GameSpot and stuff like that is more becoming about deeper looks into how the game was made, the development team, what the stories that YouTubers and streamers aren't going to cover. YouTubers are more about just like kind of previewing the game, like showing you what it is, and traditional media is more about like dissecting it and finding about what's important. And I think going forward we're going to see both of them exist and have a role to play. I guess, yeah, they exist, and it's going to be a thing, and has been a thing for a bit, and it's probably going to continue to grow. I would hope that we see games media, traditional media, stay competitive and try not to like do the same thing streamers do, but kind of approach it in a unique way that, Ninja isn't doing.
I like to see more influencers being acknowledged and them embracing it, because it's been a big deal since, I mean, like years ago on YouTube when the Let's Plays first started, and like PewDiePie was playing like Amnesia and other like indie horror games, and getting people to play indie horror games, which weren't really that big of a genre at the time, and now it's huge. There's so many of them, and it's obvious that he had, a direct or indirect change on that portion of the industry. And I wish that game developers and tech companies realized it sooner, and I wish that they had better ways to implement it that didn't help only them, but also more influencers. Like, I like to see when, like on Blizzard, they will showcase streamers. Most of the time they're big streamers, which kind of makes sense because like they're not going to make money off of small streamers, but I want to see a little bit more of spreading of the wealth. I hate the idea that Ninja got $1 million, because Ninja's the biggest streamer and most recognized streamer on Twitch, and there's no fucking way that he needed $1 million to play a game. Like, that's ridiculous to me.
I totally see the reason that they did it and stuff, and small streamers need to, if we're getting into that discussion, I think that like small streamers can grow by playing games for the first time. That's very much like if you're able to play Overcooked 3 before other people, then you are, people are going to want to see Overcooked 3, and if you've got that, that's going to be a thing. And if you're trying to play Apex or whatever and you're a small streamer, you're not going to do well because the big people are playing it. So you need to kind of like look for, if you're a small streamer, look for niche games. And there's a game called Cultist Simulator that there's a fairly small streamer who was streaming Cultist Simulator, and then the developers took notice, and then they had him stream Cultist Simulator on their Steam page, and when the game was on sale. So if you were looking at games on sale and saw Cultist Simulator and went to their page, a stream would pop up at the top of him playing it. And I ended up following this guy because of that. So they're like, if you're focused on, thinking Riot should reach out to you because you're like stream their game, probably not going to happen. But if you're like, look at smaller stuff and developers of, the same capabilities as you might find yourself growing from those kind of connections. So yeah, I think they're, developers can help influencer or content creators, and vice versa if both sides know, how to do so. Next question.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying that I want Riot to sponsor me, because like Riot is huge, first of all.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily need to showcase people for their game to be successful. They do summoner showcases where they'll show like different pro players and different prominent streamers and things like that, and that's cool. I just want to see, I just don't like the idea of the number $1 million, which is a ridiculous amount of money, being thrown at someone who's already wildly successful.
Well, because he's wildly, like, it's worth it to them. I'm sure they've sold, gotten their money back.
Right.
People played Apex because of Ninja.
No.
If you the question is if they had spread that 1 million out among like skipped over Ninja and then went 1,000 below that, you could probably spend 1 million to get those people to play Apex, not having to spend so much on each person. Would you have gotten that many people to play Apex from that?
I mean, I don't know what you mean by the next 1,000, like the next 1,000 top streamers.
Yeah, so Ninja's at the top. Then you skip over him to number 2 to like 1,000 down. Like, and I think it was more.
I bet the combined viewership of the next 1,000 streamers would outrank Ninja.
Maybe, but then you also have the fact that Ninja is the face of Fortnite right now. So by having the face of Fortnite play Apex, are you going to have some Fortnite people switch to Apex? That like it's more than, so Shroud probably plays a lot and he'd be in that list, but he's not the face of any game. He doesn't, it's not that big a deal that he's playing Apex. So there's stuff with it, but these are all very big questions and we need to keep going.
Yep. Okay. The next one is, do you think the Battle Royale scene is beginning to die down, still showing significant growth, or would you consider it to be a norm now and possibly just considering it a hybrid between an entire genre/game mode? I think it's a hybrid.
I think it's a genre, and it's been around for a while, and it's getting, we're seeing more and more games of it, but then it's obviously at some point here it's going to hit its peak. And I think what's interesting about it is that it's still improving. We're not seeing it like stagnate of like there's been no changes in the battle royale deal. Apex has improved the formula, and if there's another, and there'll be a while where it's like, oh, there's more battle royales, but no one changed anything to be significant. If there's a game that comes later after Apex that changes things and improves it again, then we're going to keep seeing that. If things start stagnating, then yeah, we'll see it die down. But I think it's, as a concept, is going to be around for a while and has been around for a while. But right now it is the hot thing, and it is a genre of its own. It is a independent product.
Next question. Thoughts on Sony not allowing GameStop and other retailers to sell PS4 download codes? Maybe a gifting option available soon for the PS Store, or just an attempt to secure more profits? When did that change? Has that always been a thing?
I didn't know that was a thing. I don't know if they do gifting.
They haven't yet. He's saying
I'm saying he thinks maybe a gifting option available soon. I'm not sure if that's something that Sony's gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible, or maybe they're pulling out because GameStop has been slowly declining, and so maybe it's not as profitable for them to do it, like make it available.
There's not a reason for them to,
when you can just sell a PlayStation gift card and have all the profits.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely like, hey, I want to give someone Red Dead Redemption 2 online, or like give them the
it's
digital.
not just for GameStop? They're pulling the codes from everyone? Sorry, I'm interacting with chat, which we don't usually do.
We need to see a news story about this before we talk more. I don't want to just go based on what's said in chat. Next question.
When it comes to HD Rumble, I feel as if it will be rarely promoted and used feature for the Switch, which may follow the same fate as the Kinect on Xbox. Just as tragic, or just not as tragic, I guess. I mean, HD Rumble is just fancy vibrating, right?
I mean, it was cool vibrating. I got 1-2 Switch to show off the vibrating, and it was cool.
Yeah, I haven't played 1-2 Switch, and the vibrating in Legend of Zelda was pretty minor.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with it. Like, you have to implement it. If otherwise, it's just rumble.
Right, it's just vibrating.
Yeah, but with 1-2 switch, you can do the. And I could never be like, that's exactly 3 ice cubes. But you could feel like, oh, this is different. This is not just rumble.
Sure. Just showing off the capabilities of the Joy-Cons.
They should have made 1-2 switch free. That should have been bundled with the Switch. That was...
I agree.
But...
maybe at one point they will.
They should probably do that going forward, but...
just to really sell the better version of the Switch. Any excitement for the Crash Team Racing Remastered? Yes.
No. I haven't played the original.
Bryce.
I haven't played
I
any
didn't
Crash.
play the original either, but I like Crash. Thoughts on Apex Legends and the issues of cheating still rising in the game? Do you think it will gradually start to make the population decline, or do you think the gameplay and the success of people still playing will keep them on there until the next big thing, essentially? I bet that as Apex continues to move on and develop, that eventually they'll come up with an anti-cheat, which is never 100%. But as with most new games, it's still like a work in progress. Sometimes it takes a while for the anti-cheat to actually be implemented, and sometimes it takes even longer for them to make it work well. Dead by Daylight didn't have a very good anti-cheat up until, I want to say, a few months ago when they updated what they used for their anti-cheat, and now it's really hard to cheat without getting caught. And if you get caught, you get punished. Dead by Daylight has been a game for 3 years, I want to say. Probably longer than that. 4 years? I don't remember. It came out a while ago.
Came out a number ago.
It came out more than 1 years ago. And, it took them a while to develop it. And now it's like a much, much better game. And it's in a much healthier state than it was before. But even then, it's been able to maintain a viewership and a playership from the beginning, when it was not so great, when there was when it was trouble finding a lobby, when it was trouble connecting to matchmaking. Like it pushed through all of the difficult software limitations, the difficulty with the technical limitations that it had being from such a small studio. Apex has a much better starting place, so I bet that their anti-cheat will take less time to develop and be better. The next question is thoughts on Fallout 76 coming to Steam after being exclusive to their launcher. I think it's cash grab.
I think they're do anything that they know the game's not doing well, and they'll put
the game's dead, and they're desperately trying to not.
Yeah, they're just trying to find anybody to play it, so that's not.
Which is dumb.
Thing.
They should have just fucking released it on Steam at the beginning. Then they would have had my money in the beginning, and I would have been really mad about it. But they would have had it. They would have had a lot more people's money as if they just released it on Steam to begin with.
And it would have been a bad game either way.
It would have been bad either way, yeah. But it wouldn't have failed quite as bad.
Yeah.
Any interest in Mortal Kombat 11 and their changes to not only the gameplay, but the bigger changes in effort coming to the story as well? I don't know anything about the changes. I'm not a Mortal Kombat player.
I played a little bit of the last Mortal Kombat and soured me on the franchise, so no.
Oof. How far do you think Cyberpunk 2077 is going to push the boundaries of game development? I don't know. Will it be as groundbreaking as The Witcher 3? Probably not.
It's hard to say. We don't know too much about it.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of information
There's
about
a gameplay video out that I watched bits of. It's interesting. I'm not sure if I'm going to play it just because I don't love that you are locked into first person the entire time. An RPG
God.
where it's an RPG shooter kind of, but it is like RPG-esque where you're going to be wandering around the world a lot, locked into first person. I don't love.
That sounds bad.
Yeah. But
Al asks, oh, sorry, continue.
No, go ahead. But it seems like there's going to be a lot going on with the game, and it'll be interesting.
I'm sure it'll be good. I'm not sure it'll be as groundbreaking as The Witcher 3 because that was a huge game.
Yeah.
Al asks the latest controversy about big AAA titles coming out unfinished and being a hot mess, i.e. Anthem 76.
We kind of talked about this on Topic of the Show last time, And basically, I think the fact that these games as services games coming out so unfinished is going to hurt the genre, and hopefully at the very least make developers work on their games more and iron out bugs before they release something. Like at the very least, I hope it makes developers, and I think it's more publishers than it is developers. There's the publishers pushing the developers to get their game out right now. But I'm hoping it, makes everybody a little bit more cautious and makes them put more effort and time, mostly time, into getting their games done before they get released.
As far as games as a service go, I also hope that over time it becomes more accessible to not necessarily just AAA games. I would like to see not a lot of, but some smaller game devs able to release games as a service and sustain. I think that'd be cool. And that's it for the questions. Yay, we did it.
This brings us to housekeeping. I'm gonna sit up in my chair so that I can do the thing. Go to lastgeek.com for links to the podcast on all your favorite podcast services, including iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher, as well as the video version on youtube.com/lastgeek. If you like the show, please subscribe, rate, and review it on iTunes and Stitcher. It helps us grow and become more powerful.
I've actually been working out. You can't tell because, weak, but my arms hurt when I did that. So it's because I've been working out.
It makes me sad that Teddy works out now so that I might not be the strong one on the podcast anymore. He's got the muscles. Luckily, Teddy will never hear this, so he won't hear my jealousy. Other Last Geek stuff you should check out. Game Corp has a new episode about you. Yes, you.
Oh, yeah. I didn't listen to that because the title made me uncomfortable.
I'm doing a whole thing here, Darrian.
Sorry.
Game Corp has a new episode about you. Yes, you. And the person behind you that looks exactly like you. Both of you. It's about both of you. Don't look behind you. Don't let them know you know they're there. Darrian, where can people find you?
People can find me on the internet in a few different places. I'm on primarily Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. My username is Dexterity, DEXTERIDEE, and dexterity.com redirects to my Twitch page. Occasionally, I will post on Twitter. Even less occasionally, I will post on Instagram, but most of the time, you'll find me gaming on Twitch. Random schedule, but almost every time that I'm off, I'm just playing games, and so I'm streaming them.
Hit that bell. Get those notifications.
Hit the bell to turn on notifications so that I can annoy you with my obnoxious little bullshit that I put in the box that sends to you when you get notifications. And also, give me one of them Twitch Prime subs. I'm really close to unlocking another emote, which is really exciting because I have a lot of emotes that I can't use, but I bought a bunch of them because I got really excited and I got, bit ahead of myself a little bit. Anyway, yeah, hit that sub button, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Give me all your biddies from the free ads. Also, give them to Bryce, who is also cool. Bryce, who are you?
Hi, I'm Bryce.
Hi, Bryce. I'm Dexterity.
Nice to meet you. Do you want to do
I
a
just hit my second wind and I have to go to bed.
You can follow me on Twitter. Darrian said this was gonna be like under an hour, and then she did 200 questions.
Zombie asked a lot of really good questions. I'm gonna talk Bryce into letting Zombie on the show. It's been decided.
You can follow me on Twitter at Last Geek. I'm on Instagram at Last Geek Plays. I don't post there that often. I'm on Twitch at Last Geek Plays. I don't stream that often, but sometimes I make big streams and have parties and there's booze. But more than anything, you will find content from me at youtube.com/lastgeek and the podcast will be available at lastgeek.com. I hope you enjoyed all of this episode, and we will see you again in 2 weeks.